one.
First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
And hello, welcome back to Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. As always, if you watch this show, I appreciate it very much. We are live streaming on our website, our apps, and of course on Facebook and YouTube as well. So lots of places to find the content. I always like to remind you of that because if you ever want to go through and watch some of the segments afterward or share them, those are great places to go do that. But right now we're talking about an event coming up on Monday, March 4th at the Arlene Schnitzer Concert Hall. And it's going to be the Oregon Symphony performing video game music. As we can see right there, it's on your screen, Heroes of Video Game Symphony. This is an amazing collaboration of video games, of visual art, and a symphony all encompassed into one. And to talk all about this event, we have the creator joining us right now. I've got Jason, Michael, Paul, and Jason, thank you, for joining us. Even before we went on, I was noticing your posters there in the background that you have, which they're already awesome. But thanks for being here with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Greg. It's always an honor to be performing my shows with the Oregon Symphony and the wonderful people of Portland. Just a dream come true. The Schnitzer is one of my favorite venues, and of course, the Oregon Symphony is one of my favorite orchestras in the world. So, just an honor.
It is such a great venue, and having the symphony there, all combined for that. And let's talk about this though from the beginning, from you creating this idea of this show. Video game music, something that we all. If you play video games, you know and love it. But it's really just a whole genre of its own, even separate from video games. So bringing that in and putting this all together, what was the idea behind that?
Yeah, well, it started 20 years ago, to be honest with you, when I did the first ever video game music concert in the United States with dear friends, music from Final Fantasy. I've since gone on 20 years ago to produce the Legend of Zelda Symphony of the Goddesses project. So this is really just a culmination of all my efforts over the last 20 years. I decided to create my own brand of concert. And so with that, you have Heroes of Video Game Symphony, which is comprised of over 17 video games, some of the most epic franchises in one show. I've also created a story for everyone too. So rather than just kind of having a best of video game music, I actually got a little more deeper, and I borrowed from Joseph Campbell's monomyth, The Hero's Journey, if you're familiar with Joseph Campbell and his writings. So I took that framework and I basically chose your favorite video game heroes as the heroes of this show. And we take you on an epic journey with the voice talents of Nigel Carrington, who does a pre-recorded narration. He's the voice of Dear Esther, which is a wildly popular independent video game. So it's pre-recorded narrations, and he just adds such an elegance to it. And then, of course, we have the music from Dear Esther and the backgrounds during those chapters being, and then the games. So, as you see in the video he's showing right now, you can just see Mass Effect, BioShock, Metal Gear Solid, Portal, Assassin's Creed,
yeah.
Fallout, Diablo. The list just goes on and on and on. This is just, you cannot get away from so many epic games that are a part of this concert. And of course, the visuals are perfectly timed with the music. So just imagine having a film scoring session in Hollywood, but it's live for the audience to enjoy.
And everybody gets to see it at the same time, and it's a unique journey that you have, for that to take people through all those. And I think I've got a few questions on that, but one of them is, how did you decide, out of all of these epic games that you have and that you have to choose from, how did you decide which ones to use for this?
Yeah, it really kind of comes down to the relationship. I've been fortunate enough to actually know the actual composers and work with these composers. So,
Oh, looks like our Zoom session cut out there just for a second. We'll see if, before we get into the matrix there of the video game, we'll go back here. We'll see if we can get Jason back on there. It looks like Zoom cut out for a second. But if you're just joining us, so here's what we are talking about. This is coming up on March 4th. So it is called that Heroes of Video Game Symphony, and that is what we're discussing. So it's having the Oregon Symphony there at the Arlene Schnitzer Concert Hall performing all of this original music, and then at the same time, okay, looks like we have Jason back, And again, see if you ever wonder if we're actually live. This proves it. We're live. So we'll get Jason back in there as we're doing this. Let me just pull him up. I'm sure he'll show back in here in just a second. So
I'm
again,
so sorry.
Oh no, all good. Yeah, if you just want to start your video back up, I'll bring you on. I was telling people, again, we're live here for Fox 12 now. You're getting to see behind the scenes of what happens when that goes on. So there we go, and we got you back. So I'll just set this back up too for what we were talking about.
Yeah.
So, with all of these amazing games that are a part of this, I mean, you just listed off some of them: Mass Effect, Fallout, Assassin's Creed, Diablo. The list goes on and on. How do you decide which ones are going to be a part of something like this?
Yeah, having these relationships over the last 20 years with some of these composers and the creators of the music and the games even, it's really afforded me a wealth of relationships. And so really it's about the relationship I have with some of these composers who just happen to be some of the best in the business, composing for games like Skyrim or Fallout or, Starfield even, which is a new title that came out. So I really work with the composers, and then of course the publishers, the support, how much they get behind the games really is the criterion for how I select these video games.
I mean, I think that is unique too, talking about that, with the publishers and the composers. And this is a lot of different people involved with different companies, different aspects of video games, different, sometimes maybe even competing organizations, but you've got them all together on this as far as everybody's included in it. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's been amazing. I can't do this without the wonderful works of these creators and the composers, especially. So, and then of course, just my team just really adapts it to the show. I have a wonderful team of individuals, from the editors that create the videos to the arrangers. We have our own group of composers, a consortium of composers that we work with as well. So these people are first class, and it's an amazing team effort to be able to pull these concerts off. And then of course, being able to hand off the finished product to the Oregon Symphony to deliver the highest performance possible. I mean, that's really where all the magic happens, is on stage. So.
And again, getting to see this happen live. Let me ask you this. So clearly doing this for a long time, as you have been doing, for you, what is it that makes the best video game composition?
Yeah, I think just having a wide catalog to work with, creating overtures or suites of music that span maybe, a franchise like, for example, Zelda, having over 30 plus years of, games to choose from to comprise or to make up a suite of music, that really makes it very easy, especially when they're blockbuster, So, just a lot of these games are getting more and more advanced. In the beginning, when I first started doing it, was a series of bips and bleeps, and now they actually are taking a page out of the Hollywood film scene, where they're actually using full orchestras to record these soundtracks. They're not just using a sample library of orchestra instruments, but they're actually performing with real orchestras and really real studios at some of the best recording studios in the world, like Abbey Road Studios in London, or in Hollywood at some of the Sony Pictures studio lots. So it's just evolved. It's made my job a lot easier. And, it really shows on the stage from some of the newer titles that we feature, as opposed to the older titles, where we really had to work really hard and do what's called a takedown to really create a full orchestral suite. But like I said, the newer games are much more evolved and much more elaborate, and they're using real orchestras, so it's made my job a lot easier.
Well, talking about that evolvement, going from like some old 8-bit, Mario Brothers, bleeps and bloops, going up to now to where you have this full orchestra, and then just seeing where the technology and the evolution of video games is going. How do you think this is going to go in the future, and how much does that allow you to expand on your creativity?
Yeah, I mean, there's really no end to the advancements that they're making in technology. These consoles, if you will, are, I mean, their processing speeds are just like lightning. So that was the limitations before, when you're working on a 6-bit 16-bit, 8-bit. Now it's like full HD, digital processors. So yeah, it's just a matter. The storage is unbelievable on these processors. So it's just going to get better and better.
Yeah, I mean, it really is just it's always fun to see where that technology takes things, and video games usually seem to be at the cutting edge of entertainment in general. So
Yeah.
seeing where they go with that ends up being reflected in other mediums as well. But always fun to see that, and just to have this though with something as classic as the symphony,
Yeah.
performing a video game, it feels like it's a combination of a couple of different worlds all coming into one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We do everything live, so there's no playback on our. The only thing playback is the narrations that are pre-recorded, but everything is fully live. So it really allows for these scores to really breathe and to breathe a new life into these orchestra halls, which we're so desperately in need of. So it's a really great way to relate to a newer audience, a more youthful audience, if you will, and to give them a medium that they actually can fully embrace. Films and orchestras have been done for a long time, but now we're doing video game music and orchestra. So who would have thought 20 years ago that this would be something that's kind of more commonplace?
Yeah, so seriously, and I mean, to that extent too, bringing in somewhat of a younger audience, potentially coming in to see a symphony for the first time, but also video games that they know and love. What do you think about that combination? What do you think that with that combination that is so important for these audiences to get from this performance?
Yeah, that's really when I first got into this. That was really the name of the game, is really trying to create something to breathe new life into these these orchestral performances and things like that. So I've seen I've seen it, and it really makes me feel a little bit more secure in my job. So because it's evolving, it's getting bigger and better, and more orchestras are signing up. They too are now starting to see the benefit of performing video game music. And this is, like I said, it's all live. So all these musicians are going to be playing a part. There's no synth, there's no nothing like that. There's no playback whatsoever. So it's a really great opportunity to showcase the musicality of these orchestras. And oh, I forgot to tell you, we also have a 24 voice choir. So on top of 70 musicians, we have a 24 voice choir that is amazing. They're even doing solos. So it's crazy. We almost have 100 musicians on stage. We actually have 95 musicians on stage, including a conductor. So 96 people on stage at during the show.
Wow. And for that's a lot going on right there. So that many musicians all performing this, all coming together. And I think, just what the one last question too that I have here is, this is an internationally touring show. What is it about Portland that it matters that you wanted to bring it here?
I've had a wonderful working relationship with the Oregon Symphony since I started my career. I've been fortunate enough to be able to perform at the Schnitzer numerous times. It's just the audience in Portland is just so special. I also have family in Oregon, in Portland, and so it's even more meaningful to be able to have a hometown show in front of my family, and to be able to do that. But no, the people in Oregon and Portland in particular are some of the most passionate gaming audiences in the world, and I'm just grateful that I'm able to do this and to have a living at it.
Well, Jason, thank you very much, for joining us here today to talk about this, and congratulations on the success of this. Excited to see, this merging of so many different worlds of entertainment and performance all coming together for one performance there on stage, and just sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, thank you very much, Greg. I really appreciate it. And for all those people that are interested in coming to the show, this is a rescheduled performance during those nasty ice storms that we had. This is actually going to be a rescheduled event on Monday, March 4th. So if you didn't get your ticket before, now's your opportunity. I really encourage you to come out and see this. We also have merchandise that's for sale. We also have, we're very approachable. You might even see me walking in the lobby. And if by all means, if you do come, please stop me and ask me any question you want. This is what I do. This is what I love. And, for gamers, by gamers. That's what we talk about.
Fantastic. Okay, one final question then. What's your favorite video game of all time, if you had to choose?
Well, I think this one has a big part of my youth. But no, I'm an NES guy, so I grew up on Nintendo classics. I'm classically trained on Nintendo, so I would say Super Mario Brothers has a special place in my heart. I do feature Castlevania as part of this concert, and I would say that's my favorite game as part of this concert.
Nice, and the music of Castlevania is amazing.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. And to see, sorry to add a little bit more, but the evolution of Castlevania, to see when I used to play it 35 years ago to where it's at now, oh my gosh. And we actually showcased that beautiful, that amazing transformation on a really nice suite of music, like I told you about earlier. So be sure to come check it out.
Really cool. Jason, thank you very much for being here with us on Fox 12 Now.
Thank you very much. You have a wonderful day.
You too. All right, and for everybody joining, again, this is Fox 12 Now, so thanks for being a part of this show. We cover, like I said, so many different things, but this is a really cool event coming here to Portland, so love hearing more about it. And who doesn't like to talk about video games? I mean, come on. So, all right, we've got, if you are a fan of Fox 12 Now, you can go to the app and download the Fox 12 Oregon app and watch all of our past segments. You can check out everything that we cover here. We cover a wide breadth of topics, and that includes things like this, events coming to Portland, to even breaking news, to deeper dives with reporters. So plenty of things on there. If you have a suggestion of a topic, feel free to send me an email, fox12now@kptv.com. So send that over. But we'll sign off for right now. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.